tomorrow. All right, let's get you outside right now through the eyes, trained eyes of Sydney Goldberg. She's going to give us a little picture of your weather situation moving forward here at 10:23. Hey, Sydney.
Hey guys, yeah, still keeping our eyes on what we're now tracking. Tropical storm Francine's been downgraded to a tropical storm as of the 10 p.m. advisory. Still seeing some heavy wind as well as some heavy rain. Most of the heaviest is going to be moving through right now in northern portions of Lake Pontchartrain. That's all heading into the North Shore near Mandeville, Madisonville, Slidell, all getting that really heavy rainfall. Seeing some really heavy rainfall rates was essentially just a lot of rain being dumped very quickly in this area, what's left of the remnants of the eye wall of Francine. So that's going to continue to move up towards the north. We do have that flash flood warning in effect all the way from Bay St. Louis, extending all the way towards Hammond and Killian. For us, we're still seeing some of that moderate to heavy rain as well, that we'll continue to see that. But I want to point your eyes out into what was happening in New Orleans along the I-10 corridor. We did have a flash flood emergency in effect, and that's because they saw what was left of those remnants that's now moving well up towards the north. The really heavy rain that led to some considerable flash flooding. We're seeing videos of cars and rescues taking place in the New Orleans metro. So that's going to be a situation that we're going to have to see unfold as we go into tomorrow morning. Still seeing a lot of flash flood warnings staying in effect from Morgan City to Franklin, Pierre Park, Convent as well up until Laplace, and that's because we had all of that heavy rain. We saw Ethan, where we saw that flash flooding occurring as well, so that's going to continue into the early morning hours. So take a look at the estimated rainfall totals in the past 24 hours. Look at this large swath that extends from Lake Pontchartrain all the way down to Morgan City, where these estimated rainfall totals are around 9 inches in some places near Laplace, New Orleans 5 inches, 7 inches, 8 near Des Allemands, nearing 9, and that does go from 7 all the way to 5 toward Morgan City. So seeing a lot of rain being dumped with this system, and it is moving pretty quickly, which is good news, as well as seeing that the southern side of that system drying out. So that's good news, but we are going to remain underneath that flash flood watch until tomorrow morning, and that's because it's going to take a while to see some of that flash flooding kind of subside and seeing that inundation, as well as we're going to continue to see some of that rain into the overnight hours into early tomorrow morning. So here's the wind gusts right now. We're still seeing some some strong winds in New Orleans, 60-mile-per-hour gusts, Slidell near 40. Here in Baton Rouge, still getting 40-mile-per-hour gusts, as well as near Gonzales in those upper 30s. So still seeing those breezy conditions over in Opelousas, getting a bit less breezy in those 20-mile-per-hour gusts. So we are going to continue to see those breezy conditions. Now here's the latest update from the National Hurricane Center as of 10 p.m. Has been downgraded into a tropical storm. Those sustained winds are at 70 miles per hour, and it has continued to track up towards that northeast, continuing into southern Mississippi, coastal Mississippi, going to see those impacts as well. We also saw the tornado watch be extended off towards the east. We're going to have to watch for some of those spin-up tornadoes. So we are starting to see that weaken partially because it's moving over land. That's what we see, that land interaction with that friction that weakens those systems, as well as that dry air that we've been talking about. That's also what's kind of helped move the system off towards the east, this trough of low pressure that's really kind of steering this system off towards the east. And so we're also seeing that dry air kind of get entrained, which is leading to the weakening of the system. So we'll time out the rest of what we could see in the next couple of hours. Next couple of hours, we are going to have to watch for that heavy rain continuing, as well as those strong winds. But once we get into the midnight hour, we'll start to see some of that dissipate, and as that continues to move up towards the north, it is going to be moving pretty quickly, which is good news. As we go into early Thursday morning, a lot of this is going to be into Mississippi, and then continuing that track up towards the north, where we start to clear out and dry out for early Thursday morning, which is good news for starting some recovery. Here's a live look outside over downtown. The camera is still a bit shaking from those winds outside, and it is dark. But here in Baton Rouge, temperatures are in the upper 60s. Those winds are coming out of the north around 30 miles per hour, still gusting in those 40 miles per hour. So it is still breezy out there, as well as we're seeing that continuously lingering rain. Now, as for tomorrow, it is going to climb up into around the upper 80s. The 30% rain chance is really just that lingering rain going into tonight. Early tomorrow morning, we are going to be drying out. But I want to pay attention to the temperatures on Friday going into the weekend. We are going to see those temperatures climb to the upper 80s, near 90 for the weekend. So if you don't have power, keep that in mind, that if you are going to be suffering from potentially some heat illness, that is going to be a concern. So keep that in mind as we go into the weekend. And then as we go into the extended forecast, really keeping that typical summer summertime pattern for this time of year in the 90s, and then watching for those isolated rain chances, guys.
All right, Sydney Goldberg for us. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.